Player 1. Time. Player 2. Level 1.
Good evening. It is Tuesday. It is just past 8 o'clock. It is time for the Total Evercade Podcast. Ooh, it's exciting. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been on, so I'm itching to get back and see what everyone's up to. So yeah, before we jump to the chat, let's introduce everybody as we always do. We have got with us this evening Mr. Blunners.
Hello. I've done my gift. I think it's, how do you pronounce it? Is it Azvar? Is it? I don't know how you say it. But you have been given a month's membership.
Splendid. Enjoy. If that's the person I think it is, does it? Yeah, find the name and then send it to me. Because if it's the person I think it is, I think I've been trying to give them a copy of Final Fantasy 13 for a while.
Okay.
We'll cover that separately. Also, we have Ryan.
Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining us. I've got a little surprise for everyone later as well for a giveaway. So Blunners is giving away a membership, and I'm giving away something even better than a membership this evening. It's a little treat. Cost me as much as probably what he paid on that membership, but it's a real treat. So keep your eyes on the screen because it will be revealed later on in the show.
It certainly will. And spoiler alert, Ryan is going to be showing us Everpants. That's the treat. He's going to be showcasing a pair of Everpants.
Trouser accent.
I wish it was a pair of Everpants.
Straight in there, Dave Newland. A pair of Everpants.
Ah.
I mean, on the right lines, though. Anyway, we'll let Ryan jump in and show everybody later that. And also, we have the guest of honor, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Sir Top and Hat. Derek, how are you, good sir?
Good evening. Yeah, great to be here as always. So really looking forward to tonight.
Excellent. There's some good stuff to be talking about, that's for certain. So before we jump to that, let's jump to the chat, see who we have here. We have Mr. Nick Craddock. Good evening, Mr. Nick. How are you doing? Mr. Burning Couchman, how are you doing, my friend? Mr. Skippins, it's good to see you too. Good evening, Mark. I hope you're well. Chris, good evening. Toxo, always wonderful to see you. Jace South, good evening. Mr. Taylor, wonderful to see you, my friend. Dave Newland, always good to see you as well. Timothy Earnshaw, good evening. Gamertron, wonderful to see you. Gene Joke, howdy. I hope you are well. Lamney Pie, I hope you're well too. There's some good names in here that I've not seen for a little bit. A signed photo of Ryan in the Everpants. I think we could make this a thing. Ryan could be the official Everpants model
Calendar.
Exactly. Yeah, it could be like Blue Steel
for Christmas. Yeah,
we'll make it like Blue Steel, where it's just like Ryan in the same position, but just in like the Arctic, and then in the jungle, and then just in the same position.
Do you remember many years ago, Ollie, when we made a work calendar?
I do.
Do you remember that many years ago? And every now and again, someone will whack out a copy of that, and I'm like, oh my god, there we all are, topless, with a little bit of Christmas tinsel around our necks.
Yeah, that was a time that exists.
grasping a French stick. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, that exists, and people could see it. But
I'm sure in one of the pictures, someone, it might have been you, Ollie, was sat at their desk, just holding it like the mouse, just sat at their desk.
No, I was in the other one where I actually had my clothes on, so I was all right.
You were in our one as well, weren't you?
No, not that one.
You went in the Dream Boys one, no?
No, the DMU Dream Boys.
Dream Boys.
What a time.
I remember, just before we actually get into it, because this is well off topic straight away. I just remember that someone, it might have been John Winnery, having like the over the shoulder look where they're like, oh my god.
That was like 20 odd years ago. I think that was 2004 calendar. That was.
It was a while ago.
Years ago.
It was a while ago. Sorry for anyone who's just joining. This is the Total Evercade podcast. We're not it's off on a random tangent straight away.
Maybe
Anyway.
next year we could do a Evercade calendar with the stars of the world of Evercade. So you could have OEB Pete just, like booze in, and then who else could we have? Crazy Burger, he could be in it. It's all sorts of people.
Oh, dear, that's
Rob Taylor, he's in an admin of the Hangout, so he could be in it.
Yep, we could make this work.
Yep, the
Mr.
Evercade
Goldschmidt
Dream
as well.
Boys.
Yeah, people
Evercade
saying no.
Dream Boys 2026. Let's make it a thing. All in Everpants.
26. Christ. Right, let's get on with the show. We're over 5 minutes in, and all we've talked about is calendars and pants. Right. First topic of the evening, as always, latest news and what have you been playing? So because Blunners is having a fit of laughter, I'm going to go to Blunners first. Blunners, mate, what have you been playing?
Right, yeah. So I've still been playing Tomb Raider.
Nice.
Still on the first one. Trying to get used to them tank controls, but with the with how the D-pad is on the EXP, it's actually all right. Where it's like quite round, because you have to hold forward whenever you actually want to go forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a couple of annoying jump parts where I'm trying to jump properly, and like she just literally just jumps up straight, and then I'm like, oh yeah, if I just hold down A, she'll just climb up here. And I'm holding X to jump, and yeah, she just jumps up straight to do nothing. But timed it well, because obviously the new Netflix show's out as well, so I've been watching that. The Tomb Raider one, actually quite good as well. And also playing Flea 2, gaming them up. Really enjoying that. Still like really hard. I just get my ass kicked on it. And Duke Nukem, because it was in the collection, Duke Nukem Collection 2.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm still waiting for my Legacy of Kain cheap copy to turn up, which I've done with Tomb Raider. So that has been purchased. I'm just waiting for it to turn up from Amazon.
Nice. Was that one of the ones that was like, it could take a month, it could take 6 weeks, we'll see what happens?
Yeah, basically that was the same with the Tomb Raider one that I only paid £16 for, not 22.
Yeah.
And with there being a Collection 2 now coming out on like other platforms, which has got number 4, 5, and 6, hopefully we could get a Collection 2, but we wouldn't get number 6 because that's a PS2 game.
Yeah.
But hopefully we would get 4 and 5 on that, yeah.
Excellent. So you've had a fairly nice little gaming time recently.
Yeah, really good.
Excellent. Ryan, what have you been playing, mate?
Yeah, so I've started playing, and I've been really impressed actually. Good Boy Galaxy. I know there's a lot of people really enjoy this game, and I've only done the first level, so I've not done a lot, but I really like it. It kind of gives me Elwa's Awakening vibes, how you get the map and you have to go around collecting things, and graphically it's really, really good. I think it's probably the nicest game on Evercade to look at, because where it's a modern retro game. So yeah, really like it. Music's really good. I like the little characters in it. I like it how they give you a little friendship. Is it friendship passport when you complete a level? It's just a really nice, happy game that you can just sort of lose some time in. So I am going to be giving you regular updates over the next few weeks as I progress through it. So yeah, that's what I have played on my Evercade VS over the last few weeks. But I am really looking forward to putting some more time into it. And I'm a little bit disappointed with myself that I got that in August and it's took me 2 months to actually put some time into it. So yeah, I got like 6 cartridges all at the same time, didn't I? It's just insane. So yeah, really, really enjoyable. If you've not got it, I would really thoroughly recommend picking up the cart. And what inspired me to play it was I listened to Blunners, who was on not the most recent, but the episode of Retro Titans before. Check it out if you've not listened to it. Really good listen. And Blunners talks really positively about Good Boy Galaxy, and so does the host of Retro Titans, Phil. So yeah, definitely it's one that I would really recommend going to get.
Excellent stuff. And Derek, what have you been playing?
Well, yeah, I mean, Ryan just saying there about Good Boy Galaxy, and it is an absolutely fantastic game. I love how you collect all the little friends cards and the bit within it where you go fishing. And of course, I had to catch every fish. I absolutely love that. As for graphically, I'm glad people are delighted with it. The 32-bit Game Boy Advance game. Personally, my favorite is Cathedral, of course, graphically. I absolutely just love that art style. I really, really do. This week, of course, I've been playing Indie Heroes Collection 3. I'm delighted to say it. The new patch blazers released worked perfectly and mended the cartridge, complete with all my saves. So yes, I'll even do a little explanation of how people do it. If you're unsure in the Hangout, and I could pop a post up just explaining how simplistic it really is, and hopefully it'll mend your cartridge too. So yeah, I've been given a lot more time back into that cartridge, mainly Donut Dodo, of course. Those improved loading times that Blaze have released is absolutely fantastic. It's cut it down no end. It's seamless. It's just as I remember when it was Game of the Month. And luckily, I haven't lost any of that magic. I actually managed to loop it. I actually told Blaze I actually managed to loop it on my very first go back. So, yeah, I was thrilled with that. So, yeah, really fantastic to see that that's coming through. And I'm working with Blaze a little bit in that area to try and make sure I've actually sent them cartridges and things that weren't working so they can go through them, analyze them, and then we're liaising and just trying to get other patches issued to try and get this whole problem sorted. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this will come through thick and fast.
That's really good. I mean, that is genuinely awesome as well, that they're taking some carts that don't work or have got some issues, trying to figure out some fixes because clearly with the Indie Heroes 3, that's shown that it can be done. Which is great. I mean, that's again, it's these little things. It might take them a little while to catch up sometimes, but they do generally get round to trying to, listen to what is concerning people within the fans and sort of try and rectify it. So this is a good move. Really good move.
Don't tell Obsolete World that they fix things quickly, because he's been on at them for a very, very long time. On, is it Cybernoid 2? I might have got that.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't raised that with them myself currently, but yeah, I mean, it will be something somewhere down the line. We'll probably have that conversation. So yeah, but it's a start in the right direction, certainly, and hopefully it'll start to put people's minds at rest. So yeah, hopefully it's working for other people too.
Excellent stuff. I haven't updated my EXP or my VS yet. Purely because I'm actually still enjoying Soko Banana. It's something that I have actually played quite a little bit of. Some of the areas I found were actually a genuine challenge. There was some really quite interesting little puzzles in there, and you have to sort of really, I guess, get it wrong quite a few times sometimes to really figure out how that level is going to work. And I've kind of had a blast with it. It's not the best game in the world by any stretch. I've got Silent Hill 2, the remake, running in the living room, but it's really enjoyable. I like these little puzzle type games. They're really good fun. I think when we were speaking last about it, there was this idea of, would you drop 50 quid on it? No, I would not. But as a collection with some other games, hopefully some of these other games of the month will showcase that this next cartridge is going to have some good indie collections or some good indie games on it. Flea 2 is great. I got to play that in Nottingham earlier in the year on an NES with Al. Really, really good game. Hard as balls, but really, really good. So I have yet to actually update my my EXP yet, purely because I've been enjoying Soko Banana and didn't want to get rid of that just yet. Latest news, chaps. What have we got for some latest news?
I don't know, unless Sir Top and Hat knows anything. I've just looked on the Evercade website, and the latest blog post is searching for secrets in Gods. So if you're interested in finding secrets on Gods on Bitmap Collection 2, then head over to the Evercade website, because aside from that, there hasn't been any updates on there for a couple of weeks.
No. Hopefully, people are still enjoying pre-ordering their arcade cartridges, ready for the end of November. So, yeah.
Mhm.
Are they
Excellent.
the next ones due out, or is there cartridges due between now and the end of November? That's the next one, isn't it?
Yeah. Obviously, the Super Pockets end of this month, and then obviously the following month, the Alpha, and obviously the arcade collections, and then the December cartridges, which I must say will be announced very imminently.
I imagine at 9:05 this evening when we go off air.
If only.
Super. So the next topic for discussion, if anybody has had theirs arrive in the chat, please let us know. And that is the second wave of Super Pockets has now been released. Technos and the Atari Super Pockets. I'll come back to that, Mr. Skippins. Definitely, I'll any recommendations for things that are like Psycho Banana, I'm all in. So yes, the Technos and the Atari Super Pockets have been released. People have them in their hands. We have seen photos, and yeah, what are we thinking? What are we thinking, Brian? Let's jump to you this time. The Atari and the Techno Super Pocket. I know you were kind of on the fence about the Atari one at one point.
Yeah, I had pre-ordered an Atari one at one point, but because I pre-ordered it about 3 months ago, the hype for it for me had gone, so I cancelled it on Amazon. So yeah, I'm not getting one because I just kind of sat there and thought, do I really need a Super Pocket when I've got a VS and I've got a Steam Deck? I don't really need another handheld, even though it looks really cool, and I actually prefer this one to the wood grain one. Funnily enough, I do think it looks nicer, and I like the idea of having 50 games on it. But then when I sat down and really sort of looked at it, I'm like, I'm not a massive Atari fan. I don't need this. However, I can see why it's going to be popular and why people are going to purchase it. And yeah, you never know. Maybe I might look to pick one up in the future, but at the moment, I'm quite happy with my VS. And then obviously the Technos collection, which is here. This is actually quite grown on me. I like the color scheme of this as well. I think it looks really nice. And if I was to buy any, and I remember talking to Sir Top and Hat about this offline, he was surprised I was going for Atari rather than Technos. But when I actually sort of sit and think about it, I think I'd probably prefer the Technos one over the Atari one. And I used to have Double Dragon on the Game Boy, so that would be a nice nod back to my sort of childhood because that's on here. And yeah, it's got a few arcade games, but then some of them are duplicated on Technos, which I've got arcade collection. Sorry, cartridge number 10, and then on the Technos arcade one, as are the Atari ones. So it's like, do I want to double dip on Atari and Technos games? Probably not. But if you're new to Evercade and you've not got any of those cartridges, then yeah, and you've not got an EXP, then I'll be all over this because I think they're £50, pretty decent. Can't really go wrong. And to be honest, in the Hangout, I don't really see any issues with the Super Pockets like I have done with the EXP. I think one of the main gripes with the Super Pocket that I see is people trying to update it on Apple devices, because I don't think Blaze have done anything to try and rectify that, or if they have, I think it's quite tricky to do. But yeah, it's nice to see that they've been sent out early and people are starting to receive them, so that's a real positive.
Yeah, definitely. You could almost get rid of your Technos cart and buy one of these instead, couldn't you? And just still,
I have
grab a meal afterwards.
I have thought about that because Crazy Burger done a video about the price of the legacy cartridges, and I think the Technos one was going for like £150.
Wow.
It's like I could do a lot with £150. I could that's just sat on a shelf, and is it going to go up anymore? That's the thing. But then equally, I don't want to rip someone off in the community because I wouldn't do that. But yeah, it's very tempting when it could go for £150. I could buy this, which would fill my Technos void. And then I've still got £100 to play with.
Madness.
It is.
Yeah. Blunners, Technos, and the Atari Super Pockets. Do either of these take your fancy?
Oh, I was so close to buying one of these, and then my card broke, so my money had to go on that. So I was gutted. So yeah, I was looking at the Atari one, but now Ryan's talked me into this one as well.
As well?
Nah, yeah, it's annoying. So I just want one, just because I'm a bit of a handheld freak. I've got loads of handhelds. I haven't got a Super Pocket yet, so I will be getting one at some point. Yeah, I like the Atari one, like Ryan, and then then I'm looking at this Technos one, and I'm thinking, yeah, I like that as well. You know, I'm gonna get one at some point. I do want one. But yeah, I went to pull the trigger, and then my car's now got 2 bald tires. That's going to cost a lot of money to sort them out, front 2 out. So yeah, so maybe next month.
Yeah.
Or I might put it on my Christmas list. But yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, I haven't pre-ordered one. I was and ahhing about one. Like Ryan, I was looking at the Atari one. I preferred the other one, not the wood grain either. Because that plastic wood grain just does not do it for me. But yeah, I'm looking at this Technos one on here now, and I'm thinking 50 quid's not too bad. But
it's nice, isn't it? The colours. I think they've nailed the colours on this. I think it's a really nice colour combination.
Yeah, but it's because it's Portsmouth blue. I don't know if I could get it, to be honest.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that actually. You just massively put me off there. Yeah, maybe I won't go for that. Maybe I'll go for the.
It's a different blue, mate. It's a different blue.
Yeah, maybe I'll go for this.
Yeah,
one,
I think we'll go red. Yeah, I think I'll go red.
Shocker. And Derek, what are your thoughts? The Technos and Atari Super Pockets, were these sort of on your radar as potentials as well?
Well, I'm hoping they've tickled people's fancy. I mean, I'm a big fan of Atari. I mean, old Nolan Bushell started it all. It's fantastic to see. It's a collection of 50 games on there, 2,600, 7,800, 5,200, and of course, Atari Lynx and Arcade. So what's not to like? There's something for everyone, and especially some of those Atari Lynx games, which we haven't got on other Atari Lynx collections. You know, that's worth its weight in gold. So yeah, I hope a lot of people are going to jump in on this. Of course, they are going to be running against in November Atari with the 7,800 plus, and that's something that's certainly tickled my fancy. It's expandable with new games.
Yeah,
so
very
like
good.
There's Crystal Quest, Asteroids Deluxe, etc. Or and get you 50 games built in, and again, that's not to be laughed at. That's good value.
It is.
So yeah, I'm hoping, this Christmas this is going to feature in a lot of people's stockings.
Yeah.
So I should be interested. As I say, there's a lot of competition with the Spectrum as well releasing in November. So money thin on the ground, and of course we're waiting for Nintendo to announce this Switch 2. Some people are going to be saving towards that as well. So, but as you say, the price point's something that, you could stick this in somebody's stocking, and I think somebody's going to have a lot of fun over Christmas.
Yeah, your stocking presents are good. I used to get like an apple and a banana. You're getting a Super Pocket. Bloody yeah. I'm going to move in with you. What a stocking present that is. Super Pocket.
Oh, there you go. But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping a lot of people are going to pick this one up. Technos, of course, has got one of my favorite arcade games of all time, Renegade Arcade, which is absolutely fantastic. I do love Renegade. It just ticks all the boxes for me, along with Double Dragon, of course. Who doesn't love that? That was one of the first simultaneous beat-em-ups I ever played in 2-player. So, yeah, I mean, so much to love there. And although it's only 15 games, it's 15 good games. And there's nothing wrong with the NES version of Double Dragon, etc. It's all good fun. But, yeah, certainly some good arcade games on there as well. And in your hand. Easy to carry around, and as you say, expandable with the Evercade cartridges. So yeah, what's not to love? Do I think it'll feature in any of my Christmas stockings this year? I don't think so. No, I think, as I say, the competition with the Spectrum and the 7,800 plus it's pretty stiff, to be honest, for a stocking filler. But I'm sure for a lot of people, especially if you've collected the first 2 Super Pockets, like myself with Bubble Bobble on the Taito and etc., the Capcom, you'll want to add these next 2 in the collection, because obviously you want to try and collect them all, really, a bit like Pokemon. So yeah, hopefully people are going to continue that. We're grabbing this. I appreciate also if they've picked up the Alpha. It might be a bridge too far at the moment, but there's lots to love, and I certainly haven't ruled it out. But at the moment, yeah, there's just so many other great things out there that yeah, it's just kind of prioritizing.
Yeah. It's an odd one for me, because Ryan almost convinced me subconsciously that I needed the Atari one, when I really don't. I don't at all. But I like the color, red and black. That's a really, really solid color choice. I don't think either of these 2 grab me massively. I'm still umming and ahhing over the Taito one, I think, purely because none of those games are on a cart yet. So having a Taito handheld, and the color scheme on that Taito one is something special. I really, really like that color scheme. But I'm glad that there are more of them coming. I'm glad it wasn't just a 2 released, see what happens, and sort of leave it at that. I'm glad that there's a couple more. Clearly they must have sold some in order to be making a few more. So yeah, I think we'll just sort of see where this goes. What do we think the next collections could be? Given that we've had one collection which isn't on any of the systems, and gosh, shocking, Dorbs. You sent your heaters packed up.
Here he is, Mr. Evercade Fan of the Year. So he's back. He is back, Mr. Dorbs.
Day one,
to
wasn't
see
he?
you. Yeah,
He
he was.
Good to see you, Dorbra. So yeah, I'm sort of looking at various collections and trying to think, well, what could the next one be? I could easily see an Interplay one quite nicely. I could see there's a couple of Interplay games that were still maybe yet to go on, but I could see an Interplay one quite happily. I could see a Namco one. There's a lot. There's a lot that could happen. But yeah, I think out of these 2, probably the Atari one speaks to me a little bit more. But the Technos one, maybe not quite so much, purely because I think I've got. Are there any games on the handheld one that aren't on the collection? Either of the.
We keep losing you, Ollie. You keep dropping out.
Oh no! Am I back?
You're back. Go on, say that
I'm
again.
back. I'm back.
Lost you.
Oh,
We'd be guessing what you said.
Oh. Right. Are there any games that are on the I can't think now. You've thrown me right off. The Super Pocket, the Technos one. Yeah. Are there any games that are on the Technos handheld that aren't on the carts? Either of the carts that are available.
The main one would be Double Dragon 1.
Okay. Excellent.
Arcade.
So there is a potential for it. There is a potential. But yeah, I think out of the 2, the Atari one maybe speaks to me a little bit more. But if I was going to get one, I'd be getting the Taito one, I think. Excellent.
What I was going to say, that picture's very odd, because the other one, they had the fingers on the buttons, and it's like, I know they're showcasing it, but it's just a funny picture, isn't it? You're playing a game, but your fingers aren't on any of the buttons. Does anyone else notice that, or is that just me? Maybe that's just my OCD. Maybe it's just
it might be a stock photo that they've put a handheld in on.
Yeah,
because generated.
Yeah, because to me it looks like there would be, because I was looking at that thinking, oh, is there 2 buttons there that they're pressing? When I looked at that just a minute ago, and then I was like, oh no, they've held it there to showcase it. But in the Atari picture, I don't know if you noticed just a minute ago, because you can see I've got too much time on my hands. They're holding it like that. Yeah, so it's just
Mm.
maybe that's just me. If anyone in the comments thinks that's a bizarre picture, or maybe it is just my OCD, and that is how they advertise these things. But you would think they would have your fingers on the buttons showing it rather than how it is. But yeah, that's just me. I'll put myself on mute now.
Ryan and his OCD. What a shocker. What a shocker. Yeah, so anyone in the chat, have you got your Atari? Have you got, I know a few people have said they've got the wood grain one on pre-order, they're just waiting for the shipping. But yeah, let us know in the chat which one have you got, what you enjoying the most about it. Yeah, are you going for a full Super Pocket collection? Are people just getting the ones that they're after? Yeah, exciting. Exciting. Okay. Next topic, mainly because I like the word in this sentence. New cart speculation. I love a good speculate. So in the chat, feel free to get your speculations in as well. Let's go to Derek first on this one. What do we think? New cart speculation. What are some things that you would like to see?
Well, naturally, as I always say, I would love to see System 3. I'm a massive System 3 fan, so that for me will be an ideal cartridge. The games aren't easy, but that's fine. The games are mint, and I absolutely love them. Also, I would love to see some brilliant indie games. If there's one thing that's been suffering with this year, is lack of indie games. So yeah, indie games is the target for me. And yeah, we need a bombshell to go off in the next week. And yeah, announce some super strong titles to end the year on.
Is there anything in particular outside of System 3 that you think could be an actual contender, or are you not allowed to say? Do you know what it is?
Oh, well, you never know. But I mean, I would like to see something like the Amiga game Roguecraft, by Bag of Hats. This is absolutely fantastic. And Badger Punch Games. Roguecraft really is a brilliant roguelike. Of course, we've already had Rogue 64 on the Commodore 64, but this Amiga game knocks its socks off. It's absolutely stunning. It kind of reminds me of Hero Quest on the Amiga. And yeah, I would absolutely love to see Roguecraft.
I like the sounds of that. Ryan, cart speculation. What new cart would you like to speculate or throw into the mix?
Yeah, I was just trying to have a think, and I think that Toxo's guess here. Oops, sorry, Blunners pressing the button. There. A home computer Series 2 and out of the bit collection, potentially, because out of the bits have got a football game and they've got a car racing game, which would be quite cool because I think
one. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, potentially that. Another one that I thought we could get is the Hours Awakening sequel, Hours Legacy, because that was very popular. So we might see that as well. But yeah, I think it's going to be more indie based than what we've seen so far this year. I don't think we're going to see Intellivision Collection 3, for example, or I really hope we don't, or Sunsoft Collection 3. But my wild card is the Amico collection, as I saw someone put that in the chat just a moment ago. The Amico Super Pocket. So yeah, we might get that beanbag throwing game come into the Evercade.
Love Hotline
So like,
Miami.
just have to launch your Super Pocket across the room to try and get the simulation to work properly.
Yeah. But there are so many great games like Cabbage Face, Hotline Miami. That'd be brilliant.
That'd be amazing.
Oh yeah, we love an app.
Yeah, it'd be so. And you've got two games, but you could whack them both on one cartridge. What a collection that would be.
Yep, the Hotline Miami collection would be a really solid addition. Really solid.
Slaps and Beans, they're two good sort of indie arcade games. There's two of those. You could whack both of those on a collection, and I think people would genuinely really like that. They're kind of like Streets of Rage or Final Fight type fighting games, but there's driving elements and there's other sort of mini games within it, and there's a quite good humor within the game as well. So yeah, anything like that would be really interesting. But I don't know all the indie games. I'd never heard of. I forgot what it's called now. Good Boy Galaxy. Before that was released. So
Mhm.
Evercade do pluck and Hours Awakening as well. So they do pluck some really good games from nowhere. So fingers crossed they do the same with these 2 cartridge announcements towards the end of the year.
Yeah. Blunners. Cart speculation.
So yeah, so well, I've done a video on one of the ones I think's coming, and that is Croc, because I know that they're remastering Croc, exactly
Yeah.
like what they've done with Tomb Raider. I personally think that will be one that we'll get at some point. And also, I liked what Mr. Nicholas Skipkin said earlier on here. Team 17-2, I think he put on here. There it is.
Good
I would
call.
love to see a Team 17-2 as well. Some great games on there. Yeah, some of these games he's put here, I think would be brilliant as well.
Mm.
But yeah, with Croc coming out all under the same banner as Tomb Raider,
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be one we might be seeing.
Yeah. That's not a terrible shout. Not a terrible shout at all.
Love that. Pico 8 collection. Yeah.
Yeah.
Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Get me that
I-
Pico 8 Celeste on there. Boom.
Celeste. What a
Game
game.
over. What a
That's-
game. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
What a game. So I guess in terms of things that I would like there's tons of things I would like. I'd love for there to be, mainly because I'm just so into the game at the moment. Obviously, I'm playing Silent Hill 2 Remake. So I would love for there to be a Konami collection, just where you could do Silent Hill, first Silent. It's never going to happen, but never say never. But
Yeah.
a Konami collection where you could have something like Silent Hill would absolutely out of
Great
this
call,
world.
Nicholas.
I would love to see, in the same vein, I'd love to see, a Resi collection. That would be great to have Resi 1, 2, and 3. That would be an absolutely killer cartridge. And of course, just because I can't have because that game's just far too expensive. It'd be the best way to play it and have it licensed. And of course, it wouldn't be a speculation if I didn't say, put the bloody Simpsons arcade on something.
Mm.
I have to say it. It's got to be
Go
done.
with the Alpha, wouldn't it? Go with the Alpha.
Yeah, it
Oh, it'd be
would.
magic with the Alpha, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Slot
Oh,
that part in and off we go.
I'll tell you what, that would make me buy an Alpha. There you go. If they released it purely for me, I would buy an Alpha for that.
How about I can save you £190? There's an arcade by where Blunners and I live, and for £10 you can play the Simpsons arcade for an hour to your heart's content.
Well, that's not the same as having it in my house, but yes, if you
And
want,
it's the four-player one as well. Proper Simpson arcade.
Yeah.
the one that we played in Manchester was like a delight, an absolute dream. It was, yeah. Anyway, I'll go off on a tangent again if I don't do that. What could be done, and I don't know how realistic this could be as an actual collection, because this particular studio had a lot of licensed games in terms of like movie licenses, but maybe something like an Ocean collection would be cool. There's a lot of very, very good Ocean games, but again, they're quite known for things like the Addams Family, Batman. I think they did a Highlander game. So there'd be some interesting ones to try and make work from that. But yeah, something like that, I'd be quite into that. That could be quite a fun collection. That or LJN. Just really go totally out there with the weird, stupid stuff. Have an LJN collection. Could get Angry Video Game Nerd to do the do like a forward for it as well, because he has a real detest for that old studio. Yeah, licensing nightmare. Absolutely, it totally would be, but it'd be worth it. So yeah, I don't really know what else I could speculate, unless there's been some great speculations in the chat as well. But yeah, if anyone's got any other potential speculations they think, yeah, definitely keep them coming.
What we don't want is a collection of YouTuber games. I'm just going to put that out there now. I don't think we need any more games made by YouTubers,
No.
apart from Triangle Faces game, which will be coming out. We're all for that. But, don't give us any more John Hancock or John Riggs games this year. I think we've had our fair share. Let's have something, that's people are really going to enjoy, and not just a game where you throwing boxes around or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
Okay.
Sir Top and Hat. I
No,
interrupted.
about Jurassic Park, and the Super Nintendo version, believe that was Ocean. It would be possible, of course, because that Switch collection of Jurassic Park games recently featured it. So totally possible. Obviously, a dual license, a bit like The Simpsons. You have to pay Nickelodeon as well as Konami. But I'm sure with the right persuasion, Konami would help smooth that over. So. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if Blaze go in with the right attitude, anything's possible, basically, in that line. If it was me, I would have gone for it a lot sooner. But now the alpha's arrived, obviously, would be a perfect time for something like that. And also to have a little bit of a look around, because there are some fantastic 3 and 4 player arcade games, which hasn't featured yet on the Evercade. So, I would love to see some of those pop on there and make use of the verses as well as the alpha.
Exciting times. Okie dokie. Speaking of alpha, the countdown to alpha, it has started. Where are we now? We're midway through October, and the official release date is the what of November?
I don't think they give one. I think it's just it's just November 24.
November. So by the end of November, really. What are we thinking? Is it going to release on time? Do we have any concerns that we think may sort of snag it, or that may sort of delay it a little bit? Blunners, what do you think? What's the chances? What are these going to release on time?
I hope they do, but I think it's just the the Evercade way. I mean, that should be the new version. It might get pushed back or something. I just hope it doesn't, because obviously they've had a lot of problems with the minus R, or whatever you want to call them, the minus R, the V, minus VS, what they're called. That range, they've had a lot of problems with them. I'm just hoping that this one doesn't, or is it they've had problems because they're only focusing on this?
Yeah.
It does look so good. It's just it's a lot of money. I just wish I had that money, because like you saying, seeing one in your, I'm looking at one, it would look great. But I do hope it's out on time. I really do.
That every time I see the clips of Street Fighter 3, that's the thing that really, really excites me, because I love Street Fighter 3. It's so good. I love the animation in that game. And to have it on, it just in an arcade format with the arcade stick, the arcade buttons, just everything about that is dead cool. Yeah, I agree with you, Blunners. I think there's always a possibility, given that it is Blaze and Evercade, that it's not necessarily potentially going to land on time. They do always land. That is the one thing with them. It may take a bit of time, but sometimes that delay is worth it, because the product ends up coming out, and it's had that extra time to just make sure it hopefully works properly. So, but yeah, I do agree with you.
I don't want to be right. I'm just saying, I really hope it does come out on time.
Oh yeah, none of us want to
I
be
want
right.
to play one. I want to have a go on one, to be honest. I really want to have a go on one.
Yeah, I would really like to. I think that would be the sealer, wouldn't it? That would be the thing that could seal the deal, would be playing one and experiencing it, seeing how it works, how it runs, and then that would probably be the thing that would either make me drop the notes or not. Yeah, I agree. Ryan, what are your thoughts? The countdown to alpha has begun. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be out on time. I think that certainly the fun stock orders will go out. I do have concerns about, just based on previous, with the VSR, I think people who ordered on fun stock were okay, but people who ordered from Amazon, there was an issue. So I hope that there's enough and they do go out on time, and people, even if it slips into December, people are getting these before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, because there's 4 versions, isn't there? There's 2 deluxe versions and then 2 standard versions. So there's going to be 4 versions of these floating around. So that's a hell of,
It's mad.
they're big old units, aren't they? And if there's a fault with it, shipping that back and then replace, yes, I really hope that this goes well for Blaze. And I'm kind of like Blunners. I'd like to have a play on one and see what it's like. I know some people were invited to a special evening to play on them, so yeah, it would be nice to have a go just to see what they're like. But maybe there'll be one in game on display or something like that we'll be able to play on one in the future. Or if I get my way in John Lewis.
Mm.
And there'd be, instead of an Apple guru, there'd be an Evercade guru in a KD t-shirt showing everyone how it works.
It'd be set top on that, wouldn't it?
Yeah. He's gonna have to step up.
And Derek, the countdown to Alpha. What are your thoughts? Do you think it's going to be released on time? Have they got everything ready for it? What do you think?
It's the final countdown. Oh yes, it's exciting time. Come on, get those arcade cartridges ready. Whether it's Jarlaco Arcade 1, Jarlaco Arcade 1, Jarlaco Arcade 1, or Jarlaco Arcade 1. If you're a massive Jarlaco Arcade 1 fan, you get those carts in now. Yeah, the Evercade Alpha is on its way, so get those arcade cartridges ready to rock this Christmas. Oh yeah, I can't risk it. If me girls, my grandsons here, everybody's going to want to play Jarlaco Arcade 1. They can all get on and play it, but I'm not missing out on a second. Brilliant arcade cartridges to go with the cabinet. Well, I want to know from you in the comment section, are you going to collect all 4? Are you going to get the 2 standard and the 2 deluxe? Let me know. Yes, we haven't got long for them to go. I could imagine these are pretty expensive to ship. I don't know. It's something I'm very intrigued with. Obviously, I want to see these arrive to people in one piece, and I want to know how much fun you're having on it. So yeah, let me know. I don't currently own a bar top in any way, shape, or form. And yes, it's very, very intriguing. And like the rest of the group, I'd certainly like to get hands on with it. And especially with things like Knights of the Round, I'm a huge fan. Final Fight, absolutely. Yeah, all these games I've played on original arcade cabinets when they first came out. So yeah, from people like myself to get on there, and especially Street Fighter. I mean, we got Street Fighter 2 Turbo, we've got Puzzle Fighter, we've got Alpha 3 on there, Alpha 2, Warrior's Dreams. So yeah, there's so many great games on there. So yeah, I just want to know from you guys whether you're going to be picking them up. But at the moment, yeah, I haven't launched on it. But as I say, there is so much stuff coming out this year and early next year that it's prioritizing really. And also having the space, you want somewhere you can set them up and leave them up so you can enjoy them. Not really the sort of thing you want to pack away or get dusty. So yeah, I'm gonna have to sort out some form of cover to put over the top of it as well, just to make sure, because I don't want that screen or anything or all over the keys. I want it to keep it really, really nice if I do. But yeah, very, very exciting for people at the moment. So yeah, hopefully by the time they're done exploring their super pockets, these will launch in on time. I really hope they do for Blaze. I mean, the end of November is realistic. If you set it back and you start doing, say, the 7th or the 12th, you're going to hit that big Christmas post. And I wouldn't like to guarantee people will get them before the 25th. So, yeah, I'd like to see the early side of Christmas that people have received them all nicely. And I think, it's a prime time, the end of November. But, yeah, like anybody, you've got to have a little bit of skepticism. Obviously, there's been a few delays this year. but I'm hoping this isn't going to be one of them, because I think this is Blaze's golden moment in the sun, really. So and don't forget, of course, they're launching cartridges in December as well. So those are going to have to travel the Christmas post. So that can always be a little bit tricky. So yeah, I like to get these out of the way, not have any hitches, and then yeah, those carts go well. So fingers crossed for them.
Yep, I couldn't agree more with that sentiment. I really couldn't. This is their moment. This is something that people have actually been asking for. They've made a thing, and yeah, we just. I really hope it goes off without a hitch. I really, really do. I've seen a lot of people talk about barcades and bar tops. Sorry, on the internet. Watched a few people talk about them on YouTube. They're very, very popular, and they're very accessible because it is small enough to be put in most places, but also sort of big enough where you do actually feel like you're getting an arcade experience. So yeah, I really want it to go well. I really, really, really do. Predominantly because that Street Fighter one just really, really ticks a box for me. You know, there's only so many times I can say Street Fighter 3 in one stream without anyone sort of getting really aggravated by me. But yeah, I there is something about it that makes me want it. It really, really does. So yeah, the Capcom one I think is quietly been planting a seed in the back of my head for a little while. And the people that did manage to go to the event that Ryan mentioned came away from it and said they're pretty cool. They reckon that playing it is where you really start to sort of see the potential of what it is and the experience that it can give you. So yeah, I'm dead excited. The next month or so is going to be interesting. Let's hope everything, as you say, Derek, goes off without a hitch, and that people get these, that they land, that they're great, and everyone is just really, really happy, ready for Christmas.
Can I just say the reason why I won't be getting one is because my 69-year-old dad on Amazon Prime Day brought this. If you can see that, a bloomin' Konami
Full size.
arcade full-size cabinet, which is the most random thing that your dad can ever buy, but he is absolutely loving playing Street Fighter, and he's never really been into video games, and he's been messaging me, oh, I managed to beat 5 people with Blanca today and I lost to Ken or whoever. he struggles against Ken and Ryu because of the fireballs. But yeah, so I can see, you know, like for my dad who's 69, being able to play an arcade game fairly easily, I can see these tabletop alphas being quite popular with a maybe a different generation to ours, possibly an older generation who played arcades in the 80s. They're going to look at that, and it is just pick up and play, isn't it? It's really, really simple.
Yeah, and I think having some of those arcade cartridges, being able to play those with an arcade machine sort of emulator, it's got to be done. You know, one of the main reasons I bought a VS was so I could play things like Wizard Fire, which is so much fun. But to be able to play that with an arcade stick, that's where it's at. You know, that's
it does make a difference playing Street Fighter with an arcade stick rather than a D-pad. But then with that Alpha, if you want to play it with a mate, it's like, here's the D-pad. I'm cracking on with the joystick. That's the disappointing thing. They should have maybe done a way that they could link together. Like some of I think the arcade one-ups or my arcades, can't remember who, you can link up their mini arcades, so you can do 2-player. It would have been cool if they'd done that with the Alpha.
Possibility that it could come as a patch another time.
But then, you know, are you really going to hoard that round your mates? Imagine taking it on a train with you, setting it up on flipping that drink thing down and putting your Alpha, setting your Alpha up.
Yeah, it's not around yours at Christmas, are we?
Yeah.
That would be quite cool, though.
Yeah. Excellent. So there we are. The countdown to Alpha has begun. Keep your opinions and your comments coming in the chat and the comments about it. Are you getting an Alpha? Do you have one pre-ordered? If so, which one Are you on the fence? Are you sort of like us? Are you just wanting to try one before you buy? Oh, exciting times. Absolutely exciting times. We have got one more topic before we go to any questions. So if people do have questions, please get them in the chat. Make sure that they are genuine questions. We will star them. We will get to them. And yeah, we will run from there. So last topic, which I believe we're going to be handing over to Ryan for, is the Evercade Hangout update. Ryan, over to you.
So we've got the high score competition that's still ongoing at the moment, which Toxo, who's in the chat this evening, I believe it's Psycho Pinball on the Halloween. I got this wrong last time. Halloween table. So do take part in that. That ends on Thursday. I know obviously World has set an absolute massive high score. So good luck if you want to try and compete against that. We've got the Evercade Winner Stays On Cup going on at the moment, which I've not done for the last couple of days, so I'll get back on that tomorrow. We're over 3,000 members now, which is amazing, and we're continuing to grow. So I think we're up to about 3,026 when I last looked. So really good, really great interaction on there. So I appreciate anyone who's in that group and for all your posts and joining in. And the little surprise that I was going to show you all, I managed to pick these up on Vinted, which I will give away at Christmas as part of our Christmas giveaway, are some Evercade socks. Look at that.
Never been used.
Never been used. You know, brand new. Look at that. One size fits most. You know, if that's
most.
Yeah,
Is that what it's?
Most.
One size fits most. There we go.
Well, there's going to be someone with ridiculously big feet, and there's going to be someone with ridiculously small feet, isn't there? So when they've gone one size fits most, then it probably fits those between size 7 and 11 or something like that, I imagine.
Yeah. Dang. Well, there we go, everyone. That's something you can look forward to in the coming months. You too could have your own pair of Evercade socks official. They are official Evercade socks. Look at that.
So someone must have got these either as a gift or as part of a cartridge bundle and been like, nah, don't want them. So they've whacked them on Vinted.
Not even
and
opened.
I swooped in for the bargain of the century and picked them up. And they arrived today. Look at them.
Absolutely beautiful.
Actually, I'm actually a little bit upset that I'm going to be giving them away because I probably would have enjoyed wearing them. I'll just walk into work, just roll my trouser leg up and just sort of like point at my socks. And everyone will be like, oh, what's that? Evercade socks. Check it out.
I like that for a comment from Gamertron here.
Yeah.
Is that your chat up line to all the ladies? Check out me Ever socks.
It is. It's going to be now. It's going to be now. I'm going to have to buy another pair, aren't I?
Time for work, Dave.
Oh, here we go. Gene joke size 11. So we know that they go up to size 11.
Yeah, and my Evercade socks fit fine.
Splendid.
If anyone's got Evercade socks in the chat, let us know how big your feet are, and then we can. Then we know one size fits most. How big they go. That could be the thing, couldn't it?
How most. Yeah, how
it
most
could be like
do we
the
need?
new Cinderella. Instead of like finding who Cinderella's shoe fits, we could find out how big the Evercade socks go to.
Shocking. This has been some there's been some interesting tangents on this show tonight. Absolutely delightful. Okie dokie. Let's jump to Dear Derek. Do we have
You have a question? Well, now's your chance. It's time to ask Derek.
that? Love it. Absolutely love it. And we will continue to shout out oh my god, Mr. Newland, Dave Newland Music for coming up with that cracking little intro for us. Okay. Let's, as Mario will say, let's go. Obsolete Worlds, I think this is more of a statement than a question. Well, we've got some complaints I've read this week about Thalamus are beyond belief. Has there been some issues with the Thalamus collection?
Yeah, the reason I highlighted this is because in the Evercade Hangout there's been a couple of posts that have been quite negative about the Thalamus collection, and I thought I would put this to Sir Top and Hat to maybe spin a bit of positivity on there, because I know that he does like this collection.
Yeah, I mean, Thalamus, a decent company. The company that own them these days, obviously, Thalamus Digital aren't the original ones that did. But yeah, I know them. They're nice people. This collection, of course, features some of people's favorites, like Creatures 2. I know some people have found these games quite brutal, like Snare, etc. But that's how it was back in the day. You paid your $1.99 and you got your money's worth. For people like myself that eventually completed some of these games, you really had to work for it. It wasn't something you were going to do in 5 minutes. So yeah, there's plenty of challenge involved in these games. I appreciate they're not for everybody. Yeah, I get that. You know, it's the same with things like in television and Atari and things like that. They're not like you would encounter games in modern day. But yeah, there's a lot of good fun to be had there. So yeah, as I say, it's just a case of just taking your time, do a lot of what I call experimental deaths, get into situations, see how it works with the platforming, get your jumping down to a T, so you know exactly when to sort of leap off of platforms, or, you know, and you just have to work at some of the levels, especially in Creatures, because timing's everything.
Okay. Let's go to the next one, which is a Cotswold Night. When do we find out the last 2 carts are? When do we find that out?
Well, all being good, hopefully this coming week. Obviously, there's a lot going on at the moment with the launch of the Super Pockets, etc. But it should be aimed really for, you know, around next week. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled to your social medias, and yeah, hopefully everyone will be delighted with the new releases.
Excellent. I'm really excited to see what comes, because if there's anything we've learned over the last year, it's that anything's possible. So I am very, very excited to see what the last 2 carts of the year are. Okay, next one from Iceman Extreme. Love your top, Derek. Where did you get it?
Oh, somebody bought it for me, unfortunately. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, family member got it for me at Christmas. So yeah, I don't know quite where they did grab it to, but yeah, I'm very fond of it. It's one of my favorites.
Excellent. Next question from Phase 114. I'm looking to get an Evercade. Found this podcast. What is the best way to start on Evercade? Well, Phase 114, welcome. You are most welcome here. Thank you so much for joining us, and yeah, hopefully we'll be able to sort of point you in a good direction. Yeah, Derek, what do you think would be a good way to jump in?
Well, first of all, you just need to decide, are you more a home console person or a handheld person? And based on that, how sort of invested are you to wanting to jump in? A good price point, as we've spoke earlier about the Super Pockets, you're looking at about £50. You can actually get some really good deals around. If you go to like Mankind and you're making your first purchase, I think they give you 10% off. So actually you're going to get 10% off that £50. Just pick up a couple of cartridges that take your fancy, really, whether that's indie gaming, arcade, etc., home computer. Give it a go and just see how you get on. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to jump straight in on, say, an EXPR or a Versus necessarily. But if that's your line, then certainly by all means. But yeah, as I say, just take your time about the collecting. There's no need to sort of accumulate them all at once. I like to make the Evercade as much about gaming as possible rather than just collecting. So yeah, great that you're joining the community, and hopefully we'll hear from you in a future podcast and hear how you've got on.
Excellent stuff. Phase 114, do jump on over to the Evercade Hangout as well on Facebook. That is run by Ryan on here, and it's a really good place to get some questions in. You can ask lots of people in the community there for some recommendations. People talk a lot in there. It's a really, really good place to get some news. So welcome. We have got next Jay South. Dear Derek, do you know why the Evercade has been removed from Smith's Toys? Seems like a missed opportunity.
Yeah, the deal's still in place. Obviously, the stock sort of to be announced kind of thing. But yeah, they've actually signed contracts for allocated stock, and they will receive that stock in time. But at the moment, with the shipping, etc., it's just been a bit of a problem. But yeah, once it gets back in the swing, it will be back in Smith's Toys. So yeah, just keep your eyes peeled, and yeah, hopefully over Christmas they can do some good sales, and yeah, that'll help us going forward, won't it?
Splendid. A couple more. Gamertron, dear Derek, will this year's Christmas carts outdo last year's Duke Nukem carts? Is this even possible?
Oh, I mean, that's a big ask. I mean, Duke Nukem was massive, and especially those remasters. I'm still playing them today. I absolutely love them. So, yeah, as a big Duke Nukem fan, it's hard to see much that will outdo Duke Nukem at the moment. Even for me, Tomb Raider or Legacy of Kain didn't really outdo Tomb Raider. They're great games, don't get me wrong, but they're not Duke Nukem. Does this December's beat them? I'm sure for some people it will. It'll trump them. Whether for myself personally, I don't think so. But I can tell you this: next year is stacked with cartridges, and there is a couple in there that I would say easily rival Duke, if not beat him.
Oh, Derek, you're teasing us.
I said year of the games. It's got to be year of the games next year.
Oh, it is.
Unbelievable.
Trust me, more than you can shake a stick at.
Oh, unbelievable. Right. Last two. Gene Joke. Derek, did you beat Flea 2 yet?
I haven't had a massive amount of time at the moment. I've been moving one of my in-laws into a warden-controlled flat. So, yeah, but she's like 70 years of hoarding, and it's taken me about 12 months to de-stress the house. I'm sure it groaned as the last objects came out today. So, yeah, I haven't had a massive amount of time to sort of jump back on Flea 2. I've been sort of getting into my arcade games and things like that lately. So, but I will do. Yeah, I'll jump back on this week. Hopefully, now I've got a little bit of free time. I've got a good few animes I want to watch, and yeah, I want to get back round to beating Flea 2. And it's my birthday tomorrow, so yeah, I'll probably be inundated with lots of Switch games and things like that. So yeah, I'll have lots to play, and hopefully lots of time to do it with.
Excellent. And last question, because otherwise we will be here all night from Obsolete Worlds. Dear Derek, have you beaten Nobby the Aardvark?
I have on the Commodore 64 Mini. Yeah, I haven't picked up the Thalamus collection at present. Obviously, with my birthday tomorrow, the last thing I want is to end up with dual cartridges. As you can see, I've already got enough. We don't even want to go into how many Namcos I've got and Ataris, and oh my God, you know. I could probably sell Funstock some. So, yeah, at the moment, I haven't picked it up. But yes, on the Commodore 64 Mini, I have beaten Nobby the Aardvark.
Excellent. Lots of love in the chat there for you, Derek. Wishing you a happy birthday for tomorrow. So, yeah, what a wonderful day that's going to be for you. Hopefully the sun will shine and you can have a wonderful day. So, yeah, many happy returns for you tomorrow, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, mate.
Thank you.
There we go. So that brings us to the end of this evening's show. Yeah, all that's left to do is do the little wrap-ups. So, yeah, thank you, everyone, for joining live. As always, you're all very, very welcome. It's been wonderful to see you guys in the chat. It's great to interact with you. Do continue some of the topics in the comments section once the video posts live. We're always interested, and we do read the comments. So, yeah, please do get in there. If you're new to the channel, please do consider hitting that subscribe button, because that does help us out a lot. And also feel free to give the video a little cheeky thumbs up. That lets us know that you've enjoyed the content, and that also helps us out a little bit as well. That pushes us up that elusive YouTube algorithm. But yeah, all that's left to say is we will see you tomorrow. We have a stream tomorrow where we were doing an evening with, and we are going to be speaking with, and I can't think off the top of my head who we're speaking with. Blunners, have you got the name there?
Yeah, it is. What's his name? Simon
Phipps.
Phillips.
Simon Phipps. He has worked on an incredible amount of video games. This is going to be a really good opportunity to hear from someone who is an industry legend, a literal legend, whose portfolio spans, I can't even tell you how many generations of consoles. So tune in tomorrow at 8 o'clock. That's going to be an absolutely belting show. And from Total Evercade, we will see you in 2 weeks' time. So thank you everyone for watching, and good evening.